We're back. We're better than ever, folks. You saw the title screen. Here we are, episode 2, and it's going to be a special one. It is Week 1 preview show, folks. That's where we're at. That's where we're heading. Last episode, we spent the whole time talking about what are the projections looking like? What are the rankings? What did the waiver wire look like when free agency opened up? And what were people able to address? No. We're only 14 days removed from the season, folks. 14 days, that is it. That is all we have left until we get down to the nitty-gritty. We start telling each other our mothers suck. Our fathers left to go get milk and are never coming back. Our brothers are pieces of crap. You name it, shit will be talked. Friendships will be ruined. We're going to jump into all of that on this episode of the Coors Light Cooldown, presented by Coors Light, the official drink of the Dynasty NSTL Football Fantasy League. Presented by Coors Light, where there is always a Diet Coke within reach. With the sponsorships and ads out of the way, folks, we are going to dive right in. But before we can do that, hold on. Before we can do that, ding, 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 trade alert. Oh, folks, we got a big one coming for you. We are going to jump right over here right now. We are going to look at the live scene here. Look what we're pulling up, folks. The most recently processed trade has gone through the league. It's gone through. It's been approved by the commissioner. This trade for Scary Terry honestly addressed needs for both teams. I really like it here. As you can take a look, Scary Terry goes over to the Bauer Rangers looking to get more depth. They are competing this year, folks. They waited last year. They saw their chance this year. They are looking to compete. And what do they use to do it? They use some draft picks, some draft capital, and a rookie running back to get themselves there. Absolutely. Scary Terry holding out, so there is a little bit there, right? He could request a trade. You don't know what kind of offense he's going to. There's some risk there. Bauer Rangers feels like they can take it on. At Midnight Cheese, it's not a bad deal. He gets younger. He gets draft capital. He is looking at a rebuild. His window is going to be 3 years out from now, essentially. And he's going to be adding rookie depth to that when it comes along, folks. So this is a great trade. Midnight Cheese was very active, folks. I believe he's in every single trade except one that we'll go over today in the trade alert. All right, we're going to jump on down to Shakira, my heart's tonight, you know my hips don't lie. Folks, we got a Khalil Shakir trade. Again, Midnight Cheese looking to get younger, looking to get more out of it, wanting Shakir on his roster. He goes out, uses one of those 2028 third-round picks, got one back in the other trade, uses one of those, gets younger, gets rid of an aging and oft-injured James Conner for a Khalil Shakir. A very simple trade, not bad. I really don't mind it at all. Don't mind it at all. You know, looking at it, it's a fine deal for both teams. Does it really do a whole lot? No. Chase Jam had a lot of wide receiver depth, got rid of one of the bottom end ones, and gets a running back out of that to pair with his running backs. In case one of them gets injured, he's going to have somebody. That's the hope here, I'm thinking, from Insider Castillo. Moving on, though. Back to our scene here. Our Rangers and Midnight Cheese again. They did a lot here, folks. 2 different deals together. And this one is a big one. It's sending Bryce Young and Quinshon and multiple firsts for Lamar Jackson. That's right, folks. That's right. The Bauer Rangers took a big old power trip and went after the elite quarterback that they believe they needed to win a fantasy football dynasty championship this season, 2025. That is what we're looking at here. Whoop-de-doo. That is insane. You're looking at Lamar Jackson and Dylan Sampson going over, which he sent right back for Scary Terry anyways, for Quinshon and Bryce Young. Quinshon looking like he's going to play this season, might not even be suspended, no charges, the charges were dropped, and he gets 2 first-round picks in this very draft. He gets 2 extra first-round picks this year. That is insane. What a trade value there, folks. Those are the trades we've experienced so far, and there is one pending trade. Coming up, folks. Possibly going to be processed tonight, probably processed within the next 24 hours. What are we looking at? We are looking at Deebo Samuel for Mark Andrews. Team Poopy Pants absolutely needed a tight end. They were starting a Pat Freiermuth who is 20% started and only 67% rostered, or maybe it was 75%. I can't remember exactly. That was going to be his starting tight end, folks. He was going to be handicapping himself 5 to 7 points on average at the beginning of every week compared to everybody else's tight end in the league. Just didn't have a starting tight end, so he goes out with some of his wide receiver depth, and he acquires that. Chase Jam, you know the deal. He has McBride. He doesn't need a player like Andrews on his bench. It's not going to do him any good. He's going to sit there. He's going to have boom weeks, and he's going to outscore McBride sometimes, and it's just going to feel bad. So the rumor on the street was he wanted Andrews out of there so he didn't have to deal with that type of locker room animosity and stress. Andrews wants to be on the field, folks. Andrews wants to be out there scoring touchdowns, being the big dog. He doesn't want to be on the bench behind McBride, but nobody benches McBride, you know? So a good deal here. Very normal. We are loving this. And folks, this is where we get down to the best part. We are done with the trades. There was a lot more that could have happened. I don't want to divulge. I want to be a good insider. I want to stay true to my sources. You know, we are a man of integrity here, Insider Castilian. We are a man of integrity. We do what we are asked when things are required to be off the record. They stay off the record. You know, deals could still happen. People could still trade. These deals could come back to fruition, right? Trade talks could spark back up. If we divulge too soon, these could be ruined. People could swoop in. It's bad business for the insider. So I want everybody to know this league has been popping. It's been popping. About a week ago, there was so many trades going down, possible trades here and there, and they fell through for now. But I'm telling you, after 1 week and people see who's doing what, or somebody sees one of their guys lay a stinker, Insider Castillo feels that there will be a lot of trades week 1 through 3. And he believes he's going to be getting a lot of information and early scoops. So look out for live streams of rumors, possibly. We are going to be doing everything this season, daily fantasy drafts on Underdog. Who knows what we're going to do? Shout out Underdog. Promo code in the description. Not really, because I get 5 views a video. Bruh. Moving on. We have the week 1 preview, folks. The week 1 preview, and boy, do we have a good one. And we are going to save our matchup of the week for the last matchup that we go over. First and foremost, on the league page, starting with the very first matchup, we have Chase Jam versus Chucking Knuckles. When we were in episode 1 visiting the Flock Fantasy Pundit site, looking at the dynasty values and rankings of these teams, we saw Chase Jam as a top 4 entity in the league and STL. Unfortunately for Chucking Knuckles, those same pundits do not believe in his squad. They do not believe they have what it takes to see the playoffs this year. They do not believe they are even a top 8 squad on the bubble of the playoffs. No, folks, what we are running into here is the number 4 in the power rankings versus the number 12 in the Flock Fantasy power rankings. Chase Jam versus Chucking Knuckles, right? What are we looking at here? Well, we are looking right now at 2 even quarterbacks to start off. We are looking at Kyler Murray and Brock Purdy. Kyler Murray has the rushing upside, and he's an all-around uber athlete. Brock Purdy has the offense. San Francisco projected in Vegas lines to be a top 5 offense this season. Brock Purdy is going to head that off of a new contract extension. Sleeper has them projected almost equally within 0.4 of a point. We are going to be looking at a tight battle at the starting quarterback position. Moving forward, it's Derrick Henry versus Kenneth Walker, the oft-injured Kenneth Walker. We are looking at a landslide according to Sleeper, as well as a landslide on the Vegas lines for these players. What I'm talking about here, folks, is the lines for touchdowns and over-unders on yards, etc. Vegas believes that Derrick Henry will be a top running back this season and will far outproduce a Kenneth Walker type. And that is where you see the value difference in this team. This is going to be a big section of that value difference. And there's one other area that really beats home a value difference. Two other areas that really hone in on why this is a matchup where Chase Jam is projected to win by 62%. Moving back to the matchup itself, we're going on James Conner and David Montgomery. That is a wash, in my opinion. If anything, David Montgomery is less likely to be injured during the season. So on a season-long thing, you might take Montgomery, but James Conner should be the 1A in Arizona, even if Trey Benson is taking some snaps, whereas Montgomery is the 1B, so Sleeper is projecting a little bit difference here in points. Jamar Chase. Do I even have to say it? It's the team name, the All-Star, the Maestro, El Capitan, LAMAR freaking Chase. Going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown, that is a great matchup that we'll be looking at. However, in my opinion, And in Sleeper's opinion, and in the opinion of Vegas, it is a bit of a, like, no matter how good the Sun God is, Jamar Chase is projected to be the #1 fantasy football player on the season. Chase Jam is going to be holding their captain to that. They're going to need that from him in a lot of these matchups. A.J. Brown versus Zay Flowers. This is actually going to go the way of Chuck and Knuckles. It's the one spot so far that he has a glaring victory win on the starting position. A.J. Brown, an outstanding wide receiver. In fact, A.J. Brown was on Chase Jam until the trade deadline last season, where he secured Derrick Henry in a trade with that. So they actually swapped players here, and they're starting against each other. Moving forward, you have Trey McBride versus Jonnu Smith. This is that final area where there is just a glaring mismatch on paper. It is going to be difficult. Jonnu Smith not only has to deal with Pat Freiermuth, he also has to deal with being coordinated by Arthur Smith, who ruined Kyle Pitts. The pit stain himself. That's on Arthur Smith, and that is who will be Jonnu's offensive coordinator moving into the season. It should be, unless McBride tears an ACL. Unless he tears an that's a landslide victory on paper at all times. And then, folks, moving forward, right now, we saw that there's a Deebo Samuel trade coming through. Rumor has it Deebo will be slotting in for one of Jones or Waddle in the flex position here. Going up against JMO, a great flex option here. He does actually win out over Jones and Waddle, according to Sleeper, and I would tend to agree with them, especially if the Lions offense is clicking, even without Ben Johnson there. Oh, it's going to be great, folks. It's going to be so wonderful. Then you have Waddle versus Downs. It really depends on what you think Daniel Jones is going to do and Tua is going to do in the McDaniel sorcery on the offensive side, and if Tua's brain goes, which you don't want. He unfortunately is starting Tua, so he doesn't want Tua's brain to go plat. And so Waddle, like, what do you see here? What do you do? I don't know. Downs, what does he get out of Daniels? And you have Penix in a much better offense. It's more cohesive right now. Doesn't have the locker room animosity due to Tyreek Hill than Tua. But they are very even, a slight edge to Penix here, folks. But those three areas, Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, and Trey McBride are giving a 62% probability here to Chase Jam over Chuck and Knuckles. And that's week 1 matchup, Chase Jam versus Chuck and Knuckles. Moving forward to the league, we have our second matchup of week 1. We have Mud Dogs versus the champ. The defending champion is going to go into week 1 as a heavy favorite over the second to last place team in the Flock Fantasy Power Rankings, the 11th overall team in the Power Rankings, Mud Dogs. They are a heavy favorite. We're talking 66%. 66%. 66%. One of the highest I have seen for a week 1 matchup. It's going to be rough for Mud Dogs. They are probably going to struggle. Let's take a look at what the difference is. When you have Joe Burrow coming off just an electric year going against Jared Goff, who is losing Ben Johnson, you're starting off at a mismatch there. While he did get the #1 overall pick to get Ashton Genty, and he has a great overall projection and great Vegas lines. Unfortunately, guess who? Bijan, the man, Robinson has even better lines and even better sleeper projections. Boom. When you can match up Bijan over Genty right now, going average of about 2.4, 3.4 overall in draft, startup, and redraft right now, like, Bijan is just ahead of Genty in every metric. Genty could one day match him, but right now it's not going to be the case. Chuba Hubbard is by far and away better than Brian Robinson, who is right now in discussion and rumors for trade talks. Where would he go? Like, if he ends up in Houston, Brian Robinson looks much better. But right now, you're seeing a 9.07. Like, they are ousting Brian Robinson here. That is not a great sign if you're having him in your RB2 position. No, and going up against a Chuba in a revamped Carolina offense who is coming off a career year, you are just not going to see a value win here. No, sir. Tyreek Hill versus Malik Neighbors. Again, you're like, Tyreek Hill, the cheetah. It looks great on paper. I'm going to do well, right? No, you're going up against the defending champ. Of course they have Malik Neighbors on their roster, drafted in the rookie draft last season, 102. They're going to edge out a Tyreek Hill, who has some locker room issues right now, so you don't even know if you're getting prime Tyreek Hill Cheetah here. Then you have Rome Odunze versus Brian Thomas Jr., both rookies last season. Unfortunately, Brian Thomas Jr. light years ahead of development-wise and just progress in the NFL right now. He is going to be far and away a better wide receiver 2 option here for the defending champ. It is a landslide again. Tight end, you actually have the Mud Dogs having their first win. One win on paper here, and Hawkinson with J.J. McCarthy throwing to him is absolutely a better tight end option than Cade Otton right now. There's too many options right now in the Buccaneers offense. Too many options in the Buccaneers offense. You have Mike Evans, you have Bucky, you have Rachaad White, you have Emeka Egbuka. You're gonna have Godwin back at some point. McMillan went on IR. That's a saving grace for Cade Otton right now. But overall, Hawkinson is dealing with, Jalen Naylor for the third in targets. And there's a suspension right now going into week 1 for Jordan Addison. Absolutely not, folks. Hawkinson in a landslide. I take Hawkinson in this matchup all day, all night, and all Sunday morning. Moving on, Ricky Pearsall looking good with a Juwan Jennings hamstring injury to produce some. But unfortunately, what do you go up against with the defending champ? Mike Evans. Just on paper, it is a landslide victory again. And in the flex position, Emeka Egbuka is a riser with Godwin out, with McMillan on IR. Egbuka is actually a riser, but it is only a win if Breece Hall cedes goal line carries and receptions to Braylon Allen. There's been some rumors. There's been some preseason usages. 5 out of 5 third downs going to Braylon Allen. I don't think that is room for worry yet. That is Aaron Glenn learning what he has in Braylon Allen and making sure Braylon Allen is ready should Breece Hall go down. Breece Hall has had an injury in the past. He tore an ACL. So I think this is a Breece Hall win for now. And then Baker Mayfield versus CJ Stroud. With that Texans offensive line, give me Baker every day of the week. And you get the stack with Evans. This is lining up to be just a colossal victory for the defending champ. They are going to start off 1-0. I am laying down, Insider Castile is laying down the prediction for you all right here, right now. It's going to happen. He even has Dak Prescott on the bench. I mean, come on. The defending champ, it makes me, it makes Insider Castile happy. It doesn't make Insider Castile sick. No, that's a different person that gets a little sick and a little internal when he looks at that roster compared to his. It's just, all of them are starting who they should be. The benches look good. It's going to be great. There we go, second matchup of the week. Third matchup of the week, we have, what do we got? We have Cooper, Pooper, Scooper. Cooper doesn't even have a team yet. Still the team name, though. He's still on the bench. We're holding out hope versus the Buffalo Bills. And starting off the bat, you have Josh Allen, the #1 fantasy player almost every single year, it feels like. The #1 quarterback every single year, it feels like. It just can't miss. You're going to go with him over Bo Nix no matter how much you think Bo Nix is going to develop. Even in a dynasty league, Josh Allen is just the man at this point. He makes me want to Josh Allen all over my nuts. Bruh. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what he makes Insider Castile want to do. Then you have Devon Achane. He's dealing with some soft tissue injuries and a toe injury, a few different things. It sounded like he could cede some goal line carries and physical work to Ollie Gordon or Jalen Wright, but Jalen Wright has an injury right now himself, so he's better than James Cook. He is absolutely better than James Cook. Will he be healthy enough, and will that offense be cohesive enough to produce better than James Cook? Right now, I'm going to take Devon Achane in the win there. Moving forward, Christian McCaffrey over Kamara. This is interesting, folks. I mean, it's CMC. He will be better as long as he is healthy than Kamara. Will he stay healthy? I'm saying for week 1, he's going to play. He's going to outproduce Kamara. In week 1, this is a win for Cooper Pooper Scoop. Justin Jefferson over Cortland Sutton. Jettis. I am going to jettison the children from my nether region. That is what Justin Jefferson makes me feel. He does have a hamstring injury, but the coach has been adamant that he will be getting work and he will be good to go for week 1. If that's the case, no Addison to take targets. Give me Jefferson in week 1 over Sutton the whole time. The entire time for all time. Ridley over Metcalf. Ridley is going to have a better quarterback and a better offense than Metcalf. Give me Ridley. I don't care what sleeper projections say here. Don't care at all. Insider Castillo is calling his shot. Ridley's going to have a great season. He is going to have a good week 1. That offense is going to start clicking. Cam Ward is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Now, today, not Aaron Rodgers overall. I'm not saying Cam Ward will be Aaron Rodgers, but week 1, it's just a better offense. It's just a better offense. George Kittle over Dalton Kincaid. Wow, I'm not even going to dignify it with a response. Cooper Pooper Scooper. There's a reason you are projected and the heavy favorite to win this match. Tony Pollard with the injury to Tyjae Spears. I will take him in that offense over Olave to produce right now points. Is Chuck really throwing the ball to Olave? Is that absolutely what's happening here? Oh my God. And then Jaden Reed versus ETN for volume purposes, and with the Reed injury that's been happening, I don't even know if Reed will be good to go for week 1. And even if he is, he's missed so much training camp. Like, I'm going to take ETN just volume wise, even though he is an absolute shitter. I mean, one of the most inefficient backs of all time. He's terrible. And then Cam Ward versus Jordan Love. That's a hard one, folks. I think I give the edge to Jordan Love week 1, but throughout the season, I think the Tennessee offense will be better and Cam Ward will be better. But week 1, we're giving it to Jordan Love. There's just not enough wins there, though, folks. There's not enough wins there to give Buffalo Bills any sort of edge. But this is one of the closer matchups we've seen percentages-wise, and you can see there's a few wins on paper there for the Buffalo Bills and GM Trevor that are getting them to that position. And moving on to our 4th matchup of the week. Here we are, Fear the Lamb versus Poopy Pants. This is another one of those 60%, not the highest we've seen. It's not that 66% that we've seen. But this is another one of those matchups that has a heavy favorite, a heavy should win the matchup. And you're going to see right away what the problem is and why Fear the Lamb and GM Josh are far and above the prediction from Insider Castillo to win this matchup. I mean, just looking off the bat right now, Jaden Daniels versus Drake May is Jaden Daniels week 1. I don't care how good you think Drake May is going to be overall and in a dynasty format. Jaden Daniels is right now the QB3 in redraft, let alone dynasty fantasy football. So we are looking at just a colossal victory on paper here for the Poopy Pants team. However, then you bump on down to Jacobs Taylor versus Pacheco Swift. You're looking at 2 second-round ADP running backs versus 2 people, one that will be cut by his offensive coordinator because he was already cut by said coach once. And Pacheco, who is coming off a gruesome leg injury and is already an inefficient running back in a good offense. I'm taking Jacobs and Taylor over those 2 every day of the week. So is Sleeper and so is Vegas. Then you have CeeDee Lamb versus Puka. That is a wash, a complete wash. The first wash where I will not predict one to outproduce the other. That is completely, it's a coin flip, folks. CeeDee versus Puka, that's what you're taking. Drake London versus George Pickens, you're taking London. London Bridge is falling up. It's falling up, folks. London is on the up and up. He is an up-and-comer. He is still young. With Penix at quarterback, the volume he saw was insane. It was absolutely insane. So we are going to go with London and Laporta over Freiermuth. Now, that will be Mark Andrews moving forward, who is actually projected week 1 more points than Laporta. I'm going to say it's a coin flip because of Laporta's sophomore slump. In a dynasty overall format, you want Laporta for moving forward for the long term. Like week 1, I might take Andrews in a better offense that hasn't lost their coordinator. They're going to be more cohesive. I'm going to take Mark Andrews week 1, just like Sleeper. Vontae Adams in a great Rams offense with Stafford thrown to him, or Geno Smith and Jacoby Myers. It's absolutely Devontae Adams. Boom. Marvin Mims versus Tyrone Tracy. That is going to go to Tyrone Tracy.
Today, Junior.
9 weeks out of 10. There is the 1 out of 10 week where Marvin Mims absolutely booms and Nix throws it to him 3 times for 2 touchdowns. That could happen. Insider Castillo's calling a shot. Tyrone Tracy with volume and being the starting running back, and with Scatterboo being injured the entire training camp so far with that hamstring, it is going to be Tyrone Tracy to outproduce. We have 2 wins there for Poopy Pants. And then Matt Stafford versus Justin Fields. I'm going to call it a wash because I think Justin Fields has that rushing upside and might get a rushing touchdown versus the Pittsburgh team. That is a hard defense to play against, though, folks. But so is Houston. Stafford's been dealing with a back injury. You know what? I'm going to go Fields. But that's still only 3 out of 8 starting positions. for them, and that's why you see a heavy favorite. And that running back room is way too hard to overcome for Poopy Pants. He's going to start the week 0-1. He's going to start the year 0-1. It's going to be an upward battle to make the playoffs for Poopy Pants according to the Flock Fantasy Power Rankings. However, we are going to move on to our next matchup. Our next matchup, our fifth but not final matchup, it is going to be the new heavyweight contender with those trades we went over at the beginning of our show. It's going to be the new heavyweight contender, Power Rangers, versus the person they traded with, Midnight Cheese. That's right, folks. Right off the bat, we have our biggest landslide of the year. 68% win percent. We are talking over 2/3 by a slight margin. Chance at victory for the Power Rangers. They will start 1-0. This is not one of those 32% underdogs that you're going to see happen, folks. No, not here. When you have Mahomes going up against Lawrence, give me Mahomes every time. When you have Bucky going up against Judkins, who still doesn't even have his contract signed, give me Bucky every time. When you have Hampton going up against Dobbins, who's not even going to start, and he's going to be behind RJ Harvey, give me Hampton every time. When you have Worthy versus Collins, you know what? Give me Collins every time. There you go, Midnight. You got one. I'm not gonna shit on your team the whole time. You're doing the right things. You're playing for the future. We thank you for the fines. You're gonna fund the entire draft party next season, and we love you, and we love that you trade with us, and you're way better than that guy who will not be named. Look for the Voldemort picture in 3, 2, 1. So anyways, moving forward, we have Garrett Wilson versus Khalil Shakir. With a new and improved Jets offense, give me Garrett Wilson every time. He's going to have a bounce back year. When you have Bowers versus Loveland, give me Bowers every time. I think Loveland has a chance to be the next Brock Bowers. However, give me Bowers every time because he already is Brock Bowers. He's the team captain. He is going to go off this season. When you have Tet McMillan versus Travis Hunter, give me Tet McMillan every time because Travis Hunter has this dream. I'm talking Martin Luther King. I have a dream that quarterbacks and wide receivers can be one person, and one person can rule the world, and in the darkness bind them. And we're going full Lord of the Rings here. I don't know what Travis Hunter's deal is. He should just be a wide receiver, and then he would 1,000% be ahead of Tet here. But give me Tet week 1 because he's actually practicing all of his reps at said position, you know? Insider Castile's calling you shot. Tet McMillan, this is not a wash like Sleeper says. Tet McMillan will outproduce week 1 Travis Hunter. Moving forward, Jackson Smith and Jigba versus... I'm going to have to... I don't know if I can actually show. I'm going to have to blur that out or something. Versus Ramondre Stevenson. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba every time, even with Darnold throwing him the ball. And then you have Lamar Jackson versus Bryce Young. You have the second best, arguably could be this year the best fantasy quarterback in the league. Give me Lamar Jackson every time. That, folks, is how you get a 70% chance at winning. You play the 10th ranked value, this is due to picks, dynasty team in the Flock Fantasy Power Rankings. However, if we're talking like a redraft season or what they're going to do this year, this person is going to get the first overall pick. Except that they won't. They will not get the first overall pick. They gave that first overall pick to another team to get Travis Hunter. So we'll see if that works out for them. I don't know. And folks, this is going to lead us to, I know we're getting short on time here. This is just like episode 1. We're getting short on time. But Insider Castile had so much to go over with you guys this season. We are going to look at our matchup of the week. That's right, folks, the matchup of the week. We have Hank Odell versus Supersonic. Folks, this is our closest matchup, 52 to 48% win probabilities here. It is going to be an insane team, and we have heavy investment on one side into the Philadelphia Eagles offense, who does project to be a top 2 offense this season, though. So, as long as injury bugs do not hit, they are looking outstanding. What we're looking at here, though, we're looking at Jalen Hurts versus Justin Herbert, the 4th taken quarterback often in these drafts, versus Justin Herbert. Dealt with some injuries last year. He's looking for a bounce back. Justin Herbert's in a Greg Roman offense. He's a great quarterback and has some rushing upside. But he's in a Greg Roman offense, folks. When you're in a Greg Roman offense, you take Jalen Hurts every day of the week, just like Sleeper. Moving on, we have Saquon versus Jahmyr Gibbs. Folks, this is one where I am going to take, based on what I'm hearing out of training camp and the fact that quads last year did so much and had to deal with so much, I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs week 1 here. Then you have RJ Harvey versus Kyron week 1. You're going with Kyron every day of the week. Lad or Marvin Harrison. Folks, give me the white ninja. The Ginger Ninja, give me Slim Shady, Vanilla Ice, give me every white moniker football player name that you can give me. That's who I'm taking in this matchup. Marv is getting Maserati Marv. Ain't worth it in this matchup. T. Higgins over DJ Moore every day of the week. I'm going to start playing some T. Grizzly for the fact that T. Higgins is going to just smash DJ Moore. DJ Moore is losing out to Burden on gadget plays. He is losing out to Rome on the outside. Colston Loveland is going to eat up a lot of targets. DJ Moore is looking on the downward trend, folks. And then Jake Ferguson versus Njoku. I'm going to go with Njoku here, folks. Then you move to Rashee Rice or Chase Brown. I am going to go with Rashee Rice. I'm going to go with Rashee Rice here. He's not going to be suspended. He's going to be ready to go for week 1. Week 1, I'm going with him. And then Devonta Smith over Stephon Diggs the entire time. Caleb Williams over J.J. McCarthy. Who are they playing, though? They're playing each other. In the Chicago defense, I don't know if they've addressed that yet. And the Minnesota defense was pretty outstanding last year. I am going to call a shot and go J.J. McCarthy. And because this is the closest matchup, folks, I'm going to get into this. I am going to go over who I think was going to win this matchup. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win this matchup. Who do you believe is going to win our matchup of the week? We might have some prizes for a random commenter that guesses the right team. We might have a giveaway. Who knows? Make sure, by the way, you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment. Helps with the algorithm. Inside of Castile, we're trying to go big. We're trying to go nuclear. Because this is the Coors Light Cooldown, presented by Coors Light, the official drink of the MSTL Dynasty Fantasy Football League, presented by Coors Light, where there is always a Diet Coke within reach. Back to the show. I'm going with Tank Dell. I'm going to go with Tank Dell. Here's why. We have Hurts. Then we have McConkey and Higgins. We have 3. 4 with Rice, 5 with Smith. 5 out of the 8 positions I have going Tank Nodell. And I do not see Gibbs outproducing Barkley by enough, or Kyron outproducing by enough to overcome that one person difference, right? That edge that I'm giving to Tank Nodell. I don't see those 2 wins outproducing enough. I certainly don't see J.J. McCarthy outproducing Caleb Williams by that much. No, sir. So when you have a full extra player that I'm giving the edge to, it's going to take a bad RJ Harvey performance and a very, very good, like the ceiling, Kyron hitting his ceiling performance for me to give that to Supersonic. So Insider Castile's calling a shot on the matchup of the week, folks. You heard it here first. We're going Tank Nodell. And folks, that was Coors Light Cooldown, presented by Coors Light, the official drink of the NSTL Dynasty Fantasy Football League, presented by Coors Light, where there is always a Diet Coke within reach. I'm going to miss you guys. Week 1 cannot come soon enough. Like, subscribe, comment. Everybody behave in the comments. Group chat is another story. With that, Insider Castile, out.